Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to take about the anime named Demon Slayer. First of all, I love it. In all honesty, it may be a little overhyped, but I still love it anyways. We shouldn't let the fact that other people talk about it too much ruin it for us. An overrated show can still be a good one, hell, a great one even. Now, for those of you who are really annoyed with how much attention this show is getting, I'll remind you that this story has barely begun to walk. As of now, it may not be worthy of all the hype, but I have read the entire manga, and I can guarantee you, it will be. This story really one-ups itself consistently, and soon enough, as cool as Season 1 was, it will pale in comparison to what's ahead. So rest assured, it only gets better from here. So, as to why I enjoy this show so much, these are the things make it special to me. Sure, we all know how beautiful the anime is. And it seriously is. The whole thing is candy for the eyes, and there seems to be a never-ending supply of frames you could pause on and stare at for hours. The serious dedication to the visual quality makes the quieter, more serious moments all the more serene, and the action all the more exciting. Now, some people make the assumption that Demon Slayer is all beauty and no depth, which could not possibly be more wrong. There's far more to it than just looks, which I'll talk about later on. Fight sequences. Falling under a similar category as animation, Demon Slayer's fight scenes are perhaps the most well-known and respected attribute of the show. And again, after reading the manga, I can tell you, holy hot guacamole, we haven't seen anything yet. But even just with what we've been given on-screen so far, these showdowns are really something to behold. I don't think any anime has made fights the main focus of their plot as unashamedly as Demon Slayer, or for that matter, pulled it off as well as it has. It's no secret that the emotions, character development and animation always hit their highest during a fight in this show. Nothing gets me more excited than watching these unique characters with unique powers square up against each other. World building. I just love Demon Slayer's take on early 19th century Japan. Things are kept interesting with the combination of somewhat ahead-of-time technology and ancient Japanese culture and society. The world stays true to what Japan was really like at this time, while also throwing in some early-stage electricity, trains, and first-generation automobiles to create a somewhat steampunk feel at times. Things get even spicier when you add magical swordsmen, and women, and night-prowling demons hungry for human flesh. The use of the common, the monsters come out at night, idea we all had as kids really creates a sense of familiar danger when the sun starts going down. You definitely wouldn't want to stay up late living in this world. Main plot and character motivations. This is where we talk about the depth of the story, not just how it looks on the outside. A big problem I have with a lot of shonen anime is the main characters. Even in highly respected titles like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball etc., the motives for the main character, in my opinion, are as dull as they get. Not to say those stories are bad as a whole, but the main plots of the center protagonists in many of them just aren't very compelling. I really just don't care if you want to be the next Hokage, or the new Pirate King, or the best Pokemon trainer, or the greatest anything. Being the best for the sake of it doesn't mean anything to the audience, most audiences. However, in Demon Slayer, the main plot is, down to the bone, about a brother doing everything he can to save his sister. Finally, a shonen plotline we can get behind. If your little sister turned into a demon, and you are both constantly endangering the people around you, wouldn't you do everything you could to put her back to normal? Especially for anyone with younger siblings, this story will definitely touch them deeper than with most. The villains. Again, when it comes to villains especially, many stories just kinda, them onto the plot with no particular motives other than wanting power or just being evil. About as shallow as it gets, right? But the vast majority of the antagonist cast in Demon Slayer is different. Now you may be thinking, oh, great, it's another one of those Demon Slayer fans who thinks adding a sad backstory makes a good villain. Not really. The backstories do make a good setup for them though. Giving us the perspective of the villain in many cases can help us sympathize with them, or at least understand them. And Demon Slayer does a great job at that, I say. But the present motives are just as important, and as far as the main antagonist of Season 1, Rui goes, they nailed that too. Rui was a sick young boy who was turned into a demon by the series' overall main villain, Muzan Kibutsuji. After his demonic urges overpowered him, and he devoured a human, his parents planned to kill him and cut their own throats and die with him. When their attempt on his life fails, Rui kills them as well, believing they did not love him. Longing to find a family he can love and be loved by, he forced lesser demons to join him in his home, and be his pretend family. Always unsatisfied, he continued to search for a genuine family bond, and only ever confronts the hero because he refuses to provide that, Nezuko, to him. That's a solid and believable villain if ever there was one, really. Not all of the antagonists in the series are this in-depth, but many are, and then some, as we will see in the future. So, that's why I am an unashamed Demon Slayer fan. I think it's a good, enjoyable show, and has a lot of potential to grow into something even better in the times ahead. And as I've said before, judging by the quality of the manga, it absolutely will. Oh, and a word of advice to those of you who have not yet watched the series. Go into it with low expectations. Unfortunately, people do hype Demon Slayer up to be more than it is. But that's not the show's fault, it's the people's. If you watch it thinking it's gonna be the best anime you've ever seen, you're likely gonna be disappointed. Watch it from the more modest perspective, and you'll have so much more fun. And if you have watched Demon Slayer, and disliked it, or think it's overrated, sure, it is, a little, I encourage you to watch it through a second time, with lower expectations, and ignore all the hype. I promise you. So, that's why I am an unashamed Demon Slayer fan. I think it's a good, enjoyable show, and has a lot of potential to grow into something even better in the times ahead. And as I've said before, judging by the quality of the manga, it absolutely will. Oh, and a word of advice to those of you who have not yet watched the series. Go into it with low expectations. Unfortunately, people do hype Demon Slayer up to be more than it is. But that's not the show's fault, it's the people's. If you watch it thinking it's gonna be the best anime you've ever seen, you're likely gonna be disappointed. Watch it from the more modest perspective, and you'll have so much more fun. And if you have watched Demon Slayer, and disliked it, or think it's overrated, sure, it is, a little, I encourage you to watch it through a second time, with lower expectations, and ignore all the hype. I promise you, you will enjoy it a lot more. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm always open to different opinions. That's the end of this video. Hope you like it and forget to like this video. Until next time, bye.